Welcome to Reread. We are on the second story arc of the X-Wing Rogue Squadron comic book series. This one is called The Phantom Affair. It is the first chronological appearance of Mirax. He calls her Miri, and she calls him Veggies. I guess that was his name as a kid. Anyway, Rogue Squadron on a mission to negotiate for some type of Phantom. They want to get the bid or the rights to the Phantom project from this or Phantom ship. There's a Phantom ship that this planet developed. This is the same planet that developed certain pieces used in the Death Star, and they regret that. But they've also offered the Empire a chance to bid too. Now, later on, I'll just go ahead and push forward with it. It turns out to be fake. But then they do have some type of super weapon or sometimes a weird weapon that can open wormholes, and that's what takes out the whole Star Destroyer at the end of the book. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Basically, the person who's representing the Imperials in this negotiation is Hosk, Captain Hosk or whatever. And Hosk and Wedge have history. And like all of book 2 is basically just a flashback of Wedge's parents dying, getting set up by pirates, which is Hosk at the time. Hosk has this, at the time we see him in Rogue, while Wedge sees him in Rogue Squadron, he has this thing, this alien feeding off the side of his face, which I thought was pretty cool. And the flashback, it shows how it got on his face. Young Wedge Antilles and a young Booster Tarek, when their family died, Wedge asked for a Z-95 headhunter to go after the pirates, and Booster agreed. And so they went after the pirates. Wedge shot them down, and basically killed them all. But Hosk escaped in a spacesuit. He said, "Screw you guys," because he's a coward, and ran on his own. And then inside the spacesuit was this creature that had kind of gotten into the spacesuit and attached to his face. He screams. But they don't say what it does to him. It would have been way more interesting to hear, okay, this thing has a mind of its own, or it feeds off it. Does it give him power? Is he stronger because of it? Is he weaker because of it? Has he tried to get it off before? There's really not much said about the thing growing on his face, which is interesting in and of itself, but that's all we get is how it got on his face, and I guess he decided to keep it. Can you put a little salt on it and it just kind of squirm right off? That'd be disgusting, but hey, I'd try it, right? Now, during the negotiation, the actual plans to this Phantom ship are stolen, and they say, who did it? Well, it's the Imperials, but footage reveals as one of the Imperials lifts up his helmet, it's Tycho. Now, we know it's not Tycho, but for some reason, they believe it's Tycho. They believe it's the rebels, so the people on the planet arrest Wedge, and then the Empire offers to collect the rest of the rebels, the X-Wing Rogue Squadron. Of course, it turns out to be the Imperials. How they got Tycho's face, I think it was doctored, they said. But you think if you're going to make an accusation, if you're a diplomatic, you're on diplomatic terms, a peace treaty with both sides of this galactic war that's still hot going on, you think you want to do a thorough investigation until just readily accepting someone's fate just by, what you saw. I don't know. They took it to a video expert, who uncovered it. And I don't know. I don't know. It just everything seems really rushed in these comic books. But anyway, Escol, however you pronounce her name, her lost husband Thrawn, who she was mourning for in the first comic book of this series, happens to be the Phantom Jedi. The Phantom Jedi, I've neglected to mention this because it serves no point to the story. Tycho approaches some Imperials who don't believe Endor ever happened. And of course they get into a fist fight. But then a Jedi appears, a glowing Jedi, and slashes someone's eye. He goes, I can't see. But it turns out to be just a hologram, and it's Thrawn the whole time. None of this makes sense to me. And I had to read over some of the pages twice, because it is a hologram. It is Thrawn. Thrawn later on dies. But the hologram it looks like it kills a stormtrooper, like it shoots its hologram lightsaber through a stormtrooper helmet. The stormtrooper goes, ah! And Haas goes, it's a hologram. Yeah, a hologram that can kill? I still don't understand. And then there's a band called Ghost Jedi, and somehow that's their mascot, is this hologram too. But it's implemented that Ghost Jedi, who have a bunch of robots, I don't know what the robots do, but these are, when they see some robots they're battling, and wait, these are robots from the band Ghost Jedi. So is Thrawn Ghost Jedi? Nothing is explained on this. It is really, and if it is, I am totally lost in this story. But, oh, and then Haas gets sucked in by a wormhole, because this planet does have some technology, but it's a wormhole. We don't know what it is at first, but they open up a wormhole, and all the drawings are all squiggly and weird, because I guess they were going through a wormhole, and then Wedge explains what happened. So I guess Haas dead. I don't remember if he comes back. At this point, I don't remember him coming back, but he probably does. He probably does. But anyway, weird. This gets weird earlier than I remember, and maybe I had my hopes set on high so far, but rereading these, it's not been fun. But you know what? There's still plenty more to talk about, and I'll talk about those stories next time.